When I got out, I couldn't get a job that would pay me to be able to pay back what I owed. And I was devastated. I was real devastated because I was taught that if I go to college and I get a degree, then money will fall down from the sky and people were ready just to hire me up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 1%er podcast. We got an interesting episode for you today. I'm here with Sam. As always, we're going to be talking about the new executive order that President Trump just signed. But before we get into that, guys, I just want to encourage you guys to leave reviews. It helps us a lot on iTunes and everything like that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we do have an audio platform on iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes, we do have a YouTube channel where you can watch us talk and everything. So let's get into it, Sam. I'm excited because this is something cool. So President Trump just signed an executive order, and he's going to require federal agencies to replace one-size-fits-all degree-based hiring with skills-based hiring. So I just want to read you guys a couple bullet points. So he's going to focus on hiring on the skills that job seekers possess rather than whether they earned a college degree or not. Unnecessary degree requirements exclude otherwise qualified Americans from federal employment, impose the expense of a college degree on prospective workers, and disproportionately harm low-income Americans. And as a result of this, talented individuals with apprenticeships, technical training, apt backgrounds will have a greater opportunity to pursue careers in the federal civil service. So that's basically it, guys. What do you think of that, Sam?
Well, I think it's about fucking time.
Yeah.
It's really about time. We're not in the industrial age anymore. It was first, we had, the agriculture age.
Yeah.
Where, the father got up and the kids would go and, go and seek him in the farm and learn how to farm and all that. Mm-hmm. Then after that became the industrial age, when the father had actually leave and go to a factory, and you either was a common worker just doing regular stuff, or you were an engineer, or you had to become a doctor, you had to get a degree to be able to do that. But now we are in the entrepreneur age, we're in the information age. And what I love about that executive order is that whether you like Trump or not, it's this, first of all, let me say this. This is not a like Trump or a, hate Trump, or this is not a political show. But I will tell you this, that anybody who's just one way or the other in life, they're missing out on life. You can't say, I'm just a Democrat, or I'm just Republican, or I'm just a conservative, or I'm just a liberal. To me, you have to examine every single issue and figure out where you stand on that issue, whether you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, and all that kind of stuff. In some issues, for example, I'm very conservative. And in some issues, I'm very liberal. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of, I learned to be my own man and make my own judgments.
Yeah, you don't need to fit in the box.
No, I don't like to fit in the box.
Yeah.
I don't like to fit in the box. I want to be able to be my own man based on that decision, based on where I stand at that moment on that issue. I hate when every time we say anything about the president or anything, people always take a political side. This is not a political show. Mm-hmm. So having said that, I love it because it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
Right? Because so many people cannot afford to go to college. I know when I went to college, altogether, my college education cost me near $200,000. And I graduated in 1999. Okay, so I imagine it's probably double that. So about 200 grand was my college, college education. And when I got out, I couldn't get a job that would pay me to be able to pay back what I owed. And I was devastated. I was real devastated because I was taught that if I go to college and I get a degree, then money will fall down from the sky and people were ready just to hire me up and all that. I never forget, I graduated from college, got my degree, got my degree from Penn State, got my degree from Los Angeles College of Chiropractic, and I was without a job, and I had all the student loans, all the credit card debts. This is something not too many people know. I think you guys know because you guys are close to me, but not too many people know. But in 1999, after I been getting calls from Visa, MasterCard, I was late on my payments. I decided to file for bankruptcy. I didn't know. I didn't want to go back to my mom, ask for my mom for a loan. I was ashamed that I couldn't pay my credit cards, and that haunted me for so many years. As a matter of fact, I still can't get a Costco credit card. My credit score is over 800. I'm a multimillionaire, but I still can't get a Costco credit card because it haunts me. So many underprivileged, people in this country, especially, maybe the Hispanics and the blacks, they're not privileged. They don't have the money to send their kids to college. Now this will level out the playing field, so we can, get jobs and be able to say, hey, look, I want this job, but I'm willing to learn whatever it takes for this job to be able to do the best job I can for this company.
Exactly, yeah, and it does level the playing field, because I know so many people who aren't in college right now just because they can't afford it. And like an executive order like this, it levels that playing field. And the federal government is the largest employer in the country.
2.1 million last time I heard.
Exactly, and so like this outdated, hey, where'd you go to school and do you have this degree, that determining if you're qualified or not. Doesn't matter your on-the-job training, your experiences, any certifications you have, that didn't put you ahead of people who had that degree. And that's going to help a lot with the income inequality. That's going to help a lot with just helping those people get to that next level in socioeconomically. And I think it's a great thing.
I think this is huge. This is huge. And I'm so glad somebody tackled this problem.
Yeah.
Somebody tackled this problem, because a lot of times you have so many different laws and so many different things, and they're so outdated. Mm-hmm. They're so outdated, and the times change, and nobody looks back at these laws or these procedures anymore. Somebody took a look at it and said, you know what? We're not in the industrial age anymore. We're in the information age. We're in the entrepreneur age, where we can now retrain people and hire them so they can have a job, have a better paying job, better benefits, and actually be happier.
Yeah, because so many of the jobs too who've been maybe held by the older generation are becoming outdated. And so what that does is that alienates that group of people. And if your job gets replaced and because you don't have a college degree, you either have to go back to school or you're screwed and you're living on Social Security, now those people can get retrained and get back in the workforce.
It goes back to one thing.
What's that?
It goes back to one thing. They say that, formal education will make you a living. Mm-hmm. Lifetime education will make you a fortune. Yeah. And to me, it's all about constantly growing, evolving, and making yourself better. The population of the world is not decreasing.
Exactly.
So it's increasing. Mm-hmm. So for whatever you're doing, there is 50 other people that want to do the same thing. So why a company is going to hire you over the other person is your ability to evolve and get better and keep up on your studies and be able to retrain for that job market at that time.
Yeah, it's getting so much more competitive. Like maybe my dad's generation was probably, if you had a college degree, like, we'll take you. Yeah. We'll take you. But now everybody has a college degree. Like, that doesn't matter anymore. It's what internships do you have? It's what job did you have while you were in college? It's what organizations were
skills you have. What skills you have, man. It's not like, I'll tell you right now, and this is I'm saying from somebody who went to college. Mm-hmm. I went to 7.5, 8 years of school, years of college. And I'm all about college and the intangibles that you learn. And I think there's great stuff. But let's face it, man, the first 4 years of college is not specific to anything. It's to any one field. They give you kind of a general education on general stuff, a couple of courses on what you need to know, but not a lot. If you'd have took that time and be laser specific on a certain skill, whatever that skill might be, you could do so much more.
Yeah. What do you think is the best way to learn?
The best way by learning is doing. Mm-hmm. You can read all about it. What's the best way to get better at basketball?
Play basketball.
Play basketball.
Exactly.
What's the best way to get leaner? Go to the gym and stick to your diet. Mm-hmm. The best way to learn anything is by doing, not by reading about it. You want to read about it. You want to know the general idea of what it is that you're doing, but doing always trumps.
Exactly. So how do you think now the American workers can position themselves? Maybe you do have a college degree, maybe you're just graduating soon, and they're realizing that's not enough. What do they need to do outside of that? What are some tangible things that you think they can do to position themselves ahead?
Well, they have to, first and foremost, like I said before, they have to commit to lifelong learning. They have to commit to constant self-improvement in their field. Look, whatever field that you choose to be on, you need to be an expert on it. There's no, okay, I'm going to go to college, and after college, not read another book. Let's just face it. A lot of people just go to college, they get their 4-year degree, and the way they pass college is they don't really learn. They just memorize to pass a test.
Exactly.
That's what I did.
That's what I'm doing.
If I go back right now and you ask me a specific question, I might not be able to answer it. I know the general idea of it, but a specific, question, I won't be able to recite it because because what I did in college, because there was a test, I memorized so I can pass the test, but I never applied it every single day for me to learn it and be able to master it. They said the best way for you to learn is learn it, then teach it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like what I love and what I think the best way to learn is not just by doing, but by learning from someone who's doing it better than you, by apprenticeships. That, like going back to that agriculture age and everything, it was all apprenticeships. If you wanted to be a blacksmith, you were going to a blacksmith. If you wanted to be a farmer, you were studying from a farmer. And that doesn't happen anymore. Now it's people who are trained to teach it, then they'll teach it to a bunch of people.
But they never did it. They never did it.
Exactly. How many business professors have run businesses?
None.
Very little.
They know in theory.
Yeah.
They know in theory. It's like going, to somebody who's out of shape and ask them for weight loss advice.
Exactly.
Or, getting shape advice.
Yeah.
You can't do it. They know the theory behind it, but they haven't done it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but for me, it's, if you want to give me relationship advice, I'm going to take a look at your relationship.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I just want to know if I'm going to go to a dentist, I'm looking at his teeth, making sure his teeth are where it's supposed to be. It's just common sense.
Yeah. Now, you're an employer. You hire people all the time. What do you look for on resumes? What do you look for in interviews? What stands out to you?
I'm going to be honest with you. When I hire personal trainers, right? Everybody was talking about, what kind of certifications they have, and this and that, right? And I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. I had a guy who had his master's in kinesiology. He knew the ins and outs of every muscle, bones, and every function, anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, but he was a horrible trainer. I mean, the guy was on the floor. He was looking at his clock, he was looking around, and to be honest with you, I would call it treadside manner. Not, doctors call it bedside manner. Personal trainers call it treadside manner,
Okay.
treadmill side manner. Wasn't that great at all. He wasn't attentive. His form was off, and he generally didn't care about the client's best interest.
Okay.
Now, I remember I've hired a guy who had a very basic certification. Very basic certification. He showed up, early. He left late. He was constantly correcting, the person's form. He had great relationships with his clients, and he went above and beyond. He never looked at his clock. So what do you think I'm going to take? Am I going to take the guy with a kinesiology degree who, excuse my language, doesn't give a shit about his clients? He's late. His form is all that good. He thinks just because he has a degree, he's entitled? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hire the guy who truly is vested into his career, is vested in getting better, is vested in getting the results. At the end of the day, that's the guy who I want on my team.
Yeah. I think that's a great part. Like, I think that should be a standard part of hiring process of companies and stuff. Don't just interview and talk to them. See what they can do. And I feel like if you're a company and all you do is just talk to them and, hey, why do you think you can do this? You're never actually seeing them in action. And I think that put them through a tryout. Every sports team does it. I think companies should be doing that too. Put them through a tryout, basically.
Absolutely. I think there should be a probationary period. Kind of like the apprentice.
Yeah.
So we can see who is ready and who is willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
It really comes down to that.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing overall. Honestly, it's gonna put a lot more people who've been displaced, who've been just haven't been able to have those opportunities.
You're gonna have some crybabies too. You're always gonna have crybabies, no matter what. Every time there's a change, anything, it could be changed for better, always for the better, right? And there's somebody that's gonna not like the change because change is hard.
Yeah.
People who feel like, they're entitled. Well, you know what? I got my college degree. I haven't read a book in 20 years to keep up on whatever I need to do, but I deserve this job and I deserve to make six figures because I got a college degree. Well, we don't live in that world right now.
Exactly.
We don't live in that world right now.
Exactly. It's survival of the fittest. It really is. Everyone says that we live in a meritocracy. It's based on merit. It's what can you go out and do. It's what can you go out and win. It's, you know, like that's how our ancestors grew up. It's could you kill something? Could you hunt? Could you survive? And we don't have those same primal, and we're not instincts, and we're not surviving, you know, but it is the same thing. If you want
to here now, the primal instincts is here.
Exactly.
You don't have to go out there and kill, but you got to constantly evolve. You got to constantly get better. You got to constantly, you know, work on your craft.
Exactly.
You know, you can't sit back and rest on your laurels. Again, I'm gonna remind you, the population is increasing, and I think it doubles every six years.
Something like that.
Something like that, right? So if the population doubles every 6 years, you're gonna have double the competition all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are gonna be able to come back in. Like I was hearing a story of a guy who was a truck driver, and his truck.
The one that got the engineering degree.
The company. Yeah, he became a software engineer. Yeah, stuff like that, where he can't go back to school to become a software engineer. But if it's a 10-month certification, if it's a course or something, he's back in. And that's gonna help a lot of people.
You know, that's gonna help a lot of people who wanna be helped. It's always people who wanna be helped. Mm-hmm. Now there's some truck drivers like, no man, I don't wanna do, you know, that's what I wanna do. Oh my God, poor me, I lost my job because I couldn't do this and do that. No. Let's not be poor me. Let's just evolve, let's get better. Every phase of your life, every phase that you go through requires a new you. You know, you saw, you know, you went through my albums before. You know, you guys have gone through my albums, and you like, Sam, like, you know, I've seen you still like 5 or 6 different people. You became 5 or 6 different people because I evolved. I'm not supposed to stay the same, you know, Sam that I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, even 2 weeks ago. You know, people say, Sam, you changed, or you know, Justin, you changed. Well, wait a second.
Thank you. I say thank you.
I'm supposed to change, you idiot. You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, you know, stay in Sharon, Pennsylvania, make $3.35 an hour? And go out and drive around and still drink with a bunch of knuckleheads like I used to do? No, I'm supposed to change.
Exactly. What do you think are like the skills that you have that have put you ahead? You know, where did that come from for you? How did you develop those?
The skills that put me ahead, you know, one of the things that I've done is I've surrounded myself with people I aspire to be. You know, and from them I've learned what are their daily rituals, what are their daily habits. What are they doing that I'm supposed to do? So the 6 skills that I've learned is, one, I call it CANI. CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. Okay, CANI. You know, so I want to constantly improve in all areas of my life, whether it is education, reading books, you know, keeping up with things, whether it's family, whether it's social relationships, whether it's in business relationships, whether it's in finances, whether it's in fitness. As long as you commit yourself in those areas that you want to improve and put it on a schedule so that you can, you know, allocate time to improve in those areas, then that's going to, that's going to catapult you. Again, I think I had this conversation with you a few weeks ago. You know, we talked about EVE ratio. You know, entertainment versus education ratio. Yeah. EVE, right? To me, so many people, their ratio is jacked up. They could be putting that time to learn more, to be able to work on their craft, work on their skill, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's public speaking, whether it's mechanical, whatever your skill is, put some time in it. But instead of putting time in education, they're putting time in entertainment. All their life, they're entertaining, whether it's movies, Netflix, you know, going out to the bars, just drinking, hanging around, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying don't do that. But I'm saying if your, you know, entertainment, you know, time ratio is so much bigger than your education time, then you're fucked.
Yeah. You're
fucked. I mean, you're gonna put yourself you're putting yourself out of business.
Exactly.
You know
exactly.
What I mean?
If you spend too much time on the wrong thing, you're gonna go towards that path. You know, like I have a buddy who's gotten into stock trading, and he's done pretty well. You know, he's made a couple $1,000. He's doing well. But like I was talking to him, and I was like, dude, like look up some good investors, like learn all this stuff and everything. He's like, oh, I kind of like know everything. And I was like, what?
And that, you can't. Yeah. You know what, man? That, when somebody tells me that tells me, man, they're gonna just go. They're gonna go. When you think you know everything.
Yeah.
When you think you know everything. I had a student one time, you know, come into to a group call. Like, oh, I don't get anything from the group. I just want to talk to you one-on-one. I'm like, you don't get anything from the group? Oh, I already know everything that they're talking about. And I'm like, man, I'm like, I wanted to give him a refund.
Uh-huh.
Let me give you a refund, man. I mean, if you think you know everything, then there's nothing I can help you with.
Exactly.
I think it's very important for us to stay hungry and stay humble.
Yeah.
No matter where you are in life.
I think Andy Frisella posted on his story yesterday. He's like, the less
Shout out
I
to
knew,
Andy.
the more I talked, and the more I knew, the less I talked. And it's so true. Those who don't know a lot will talk a lot, and those who want to learn will just stay quiet and they'll just absorb everything.
Absolutely. I'm there to observe. I'm there to learn. And I can learn. I learn from my 2-year-old. Well, 1-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, it's constantly learning. Like I wonder how many people who've been establishing their careers and all this stuff are actually still trying to learn the new stuff and still trying to get better.
Not too many.
Not too many.
Not too many. Because it's easy to be complacent. It's easy to be complacent. It's not easy to always search. It's not easy to think. It's easy to sit on the couch and just be numbed. It's easy to sit on the couch and just look at the idiot tube for hours. It's easy to be on social media and look at everybody else. It's not easy for you to actually sit down and think and evaluate, self-assess, and say, what do I need to do to go to the next level? The world is changing.
Yeah.
The world is changing every single day. The technology 5 years ago, people laugh at right now. Okay? And it's going to change, and it's going to change, and it's going to change, and that is changing faster than ever because information is so readily available.
Yeah, I think of my dad. He was in sales for a long time, and sales is one of the things that's it's based on how you perform and all this stuff. And like after a day of work, he wouldn't want to come and study more sales. He wouldn't want to learn how to get better. And it's like, who does after a whole day of work? Who wants to come and study and try to get better and everything? But that's what's going to put you ahead.
You have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about it. You have to say, all right, so I come home. What am I going to do? Okay? Yes, you got to put on family time. Yes, you got to be able to put in time for your fitness and everything else like that. But if you really, and that's why I'm so big on time management.
Yeah.
Who said, I don't have time, I don't have, do you really? Let's look at your schedule. Let me tell you all the crap that you're spending your time on. By the time you put on social media, by the time you take out the TV, by the time of all those, bullshit stuff that you're really doing, there's gonna be so much time for you to work on the craft. Here's the problem. You're not obsessed about becoming better. You're not obsessed about becoming better. If I was going to become a salesperson, then I want to become the best damn salesperson on the fucking planet. I don't want to become second to anybody. If I was going to become, when I wanted to become a transformation expert, I've read every book. To this day, I'm infatuated with it. You guys see my supplement pantry. You guys see what I do with my diets. You guys see my own training.
Yeah.
I'm still infatuated with how human body can change with proper exercise and nutrition, how human body can perform. You guys have seen me with glucose monitors on my arm. People are like, what the hell is that? Because I'm still obsessed. I'm still that little kid. You got to still have that curiosity. You still have to have curiosity to learn every single day and be curious about how shit works.
Exactly. And we're not saying that the college degree or that studying the theory isn't important. That's key, because you wouldn't be able to understand how the body works if you hadn't studied it.
Absolutely.
If you're just going out there and lifting weights with no knowledge, you're going to be doing it the wrong way. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to do all this stuff.
100%, but that doesn't end there.
Exactly. You can't just read the books about investing. You got to go invest. You got to understand how the market works. If you want to be a photographer, don't watch YouTube videos about all this stuff. You got to go edit pictures. You got to go take pictures. All this stuff. It's both of them. You need to have the book knowledge. That's important. But you also need to have the experience. Yeah. And that's what's going to help you get better. That's what's really going to help you get better.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. And anything else that you think that?
No, but I think that this is a new era.
Yeah.
Finally somebody, like I said, had the guts to tackle that problem.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the minorities as well. Minorities who are American citizens, the Hispanic community, the Black community, that now they can be on the same level playing field as the people who have a lot more money.
Yeah.
And now we can just go out there and see who wants the job, who's willing to learn the skills, and who's ready to apply it and make a living from it.
Exactly, guys. Well, I think that wraps it up. Guys, you know what you need to do now. Don't just go to college. Don't just read the books. go out there and do it. Go out there and do whatever it's going to
Become a
take to make you
lifetime
better.
student.
Exactly, guys. You know, this was fun. I think we need to cover more current events and everything like that. But we'll see. We enjoyed it, guys. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Leave a comment if you're on YouTube, if you're on Apple. Leave a review, please. We'd love it.
Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell everybody. Tell
Exactly,
everybody.
guys. Exactly. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Hey guys, if you liked today's episode, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, leave me a review, and tag a few friends that you think can benefit from what we shared today. Really appreciate it. God bless.